Welcome back to BrainBoost, where we break down complex global issues into focused, under 10-minute explainers. Today, we're examining what may become the most consequential trade lawsuit of the decade, the billion-dollar legal battle between President Claudia Sheinbaum's administration and Alabama-based Vulcan Materials. Vulcan Materials is the largest producer of construction aggregates in the United States. Think limestone, gravel, and sand. However, its operations extend far beyond U.S. borders, particularly into Mexico. For years, Vulcan has extracted limestone from its massive quarry in Quintana Roo, Mexico, shipping the materials back to the U.S. to fuel its booming construction industry. The company has operated under long-term agreements with the Mexican government, initially granted under previous administrations. Fast forward to 2022, under President Andrés Manuel López Obrador, environmental concerns took center stage. The Mexican government accused Vulcan of damaging critical ecosystems near Playa del Carmen, a major tourist destination. In 2022, Mexico shut down Vulcan's operations, citing environmental degradation and violation of land use agreements. The dispute escalated when President AMLO himself publicly criticized the company, vowing to protect Mexico's natural resources. Now, with Claudia Sheinbaum in office, her administration has doubled down on these policies. Sheinbaum, a scientist and environmentalist by training, has prioritized sustainable development. Instead of reversing AMLO's decision, her administration is reinforcing the argument that Vulcan's activities violate Mexican environmental laws and national sovereignty. Sheinbaum's government has taken additional steps to solidify Mexico's stance. The administration has increased regulatory scrutiny of mining and quarrying operations, reinforcing environmental laws and conducting extensive ecological impact studies. Additionally, Sheinbaum has proposed expanding protected natural areas in Quintana Roo, further limiting commercial extraction activities. Her administration has also expressed interest in repurposing Vulcan's former quarry site for ecotourism, sustainable agriculture, or public environmental initiatives. In terms of financial implications, Mexico has invested an estimated $50 million into environmental restoration efforts in Quintana Roo, attempting to rehabilitate areas previously impacted by mining. The government has also proposed a potential $200 million ecotourism project in the region to generate revenue and replace the economic void left by Vulcan's departure. Meanwhile, Mexico risks a financial burden if it loses the legal battle with Vulcan seeking damages of up to $1.9 billion in its ISDS claim. Moreover, Mexican authorities have actively sought to negotiate with U.S. counterparts, emphasizing that the Vulcan case should not be viewed solely as a trade issue, but as a broader environmental and sovereignty matter. Mexico has also pursued legal avenues domestically to strengthen its position ahead of the ISDS proceedings, filing additional environmental claims against Vulcan and restricting future permits for similar operations. Vulcan, however, isn't backing down. The company has filed a claim under the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, or USMCA, the trade deal that replaced NAFTA. At the heart of the case is a legal mechanism called ISDS, or Investor-State Dispute Settlement. ISDS allows foreign investors to sue governments if they believe their investments have been unfairly expropriated or harmed. Vulcan argues that Mexico's shutdown of its operations constitutes an illegal seizure of assets, violating USMCA protections. The company is demanding up to $1.9 billion in damages to compensate for lost revenue and investments. If Vulcan wins, Mexico could be forced to pay a hefty settlement, funds that could otherwise be used for infrastructure, social programs, or environmental restoration. Mexico, on the other hand, is expected to argue that the government has the sovereign right to regulate industries in the interest of environmental protection. The Sheinbaum administration is also likely to highlight Vulcan's alleged past regulatory violations and the broader global shift toward sustainability as part of its legal defense. This case isn't just about one company versus one government. The outcome could redefine how ISDS cases are handled under USMCA and influence future trade disputes across North America. A win for Vulcan would reaffirm investor protections, potentially making it harder for governments to enforce environmental regulations against foreign corporations. On the other hand, a win for Mexico could set a precedent for greater national control over natural resources, possibly discouraging future foreign investment. This dispute also underscores a larger geopolitical shift. Mexico's increasing focus on self-sufficiency, resource nationalism, and environmental conservation. With Sheinbaum following AMLO's lead, the country is sending a clear message that it will prioritize environmental concerns over foreign business interests, at least when it comes to industries like mining and resource extraction. A victory for Sheinbaum could encourage other Latin American governments to take stronger stances against foreign extractive industries. However, a loss could expose Mexico to further legal challenges from other foreign investors seeking to challenge its environmental policies under USMCA. As of now, the ISDS tribunal is set to begin hearings in March 2025. The ruling could take months, possibly years, to finalize. Meanwhile, Mexico and the US continue to negotiate, and diplomatic pressure could still play a role in shaping the final outcome. Sheinbaum's administration is likely to continue implementing stricter environmental regulations while promoting alternative economic uses for contested land. Whether this strategy will hold up in international arbitration remains to be seen. ISDS Tribunal begins March 2025. Comment below on trade versus environment. Who should decide? Like and subscribe to stay informed. Coming soon, Sheinbaum's lithium nationalization explained. Thanks for watching.